What if I told you? These aren't just random habits, they're ancient rituals hardwired into your brain. In this video, we'll uncover 5 bizarre ancient rituals that your brain still makes you do today. And the truth behind them is gonna blow your mind. 5. Knocking on wood, the forgotten tree spirits. Ever knocked on wood for luck? Turns out, this isn't just a quirky superstition. It dates back thousands of years. Ancient Celtic and Germanic tribes believed trees were sacred. They thought spirits lived inside them, wise, powerful beings that could protect or punish. When someone made a bold statement like, "I've never been sick this year," they quickly knock on a tree to ask the spirit not to jinx them. Fast forward to today. We knock on tables, walls, even dashboards of our cars, and we don't even realize why. That old belief, still echoing in your modern mind. But why does this ritual still survive? Psychologists say it's about control. Our brains hate uncertainty. When we say something that tempts fate, "I hope I get the job," our subconscious feels uneasy. Knocking on something becomes a mental release valve, tricking your brain into believing you've taken action. What's fascinating is that even people who don't believe in spirits or luck still do it. That's how deep this behavior runs, an ancestral reflex that outlived its origin. So the next time you knock on wood, just remember, your brain is whispering to a tree spirit, even if the tree is long gone. 4. Crossing your fingers, a silent signal to the divine. Crossing your fingers for luck? That simple hand gesture is actually a spiritual ritual with ancient roots. Back in early Christianity, when it was still illegal, followers used secret symbols to identify each other. One of those was crossing fingers, forming a mini cross. It meant, "God be with me," a silent prayer in times of danger or hope. Over time, this gesture spread beyond religion. People began using it whenever they needed divine help, during battle, illness, or uncertainty. The shape of the cross was believed to channel good energy or ward off evil. Fast forward to now, and the gesture remains. You're not praying, but you're still asking for protection. Your brain has linked finger crossing with hope, safety, and optimism, an unconscious ritual of comfort. But here's where it gets weirder. Studies show that physically crossing your fingers actually reduces pain perception. Researchers believe it confuses the brain's sensory map, dulling signals. So this ritual might not just be symbolic, it might really make you feel better. Isn't it wild? A secret prayer from centuries ago still lives in your nervous system, offering comfort, focus, even pain relief, in a single subtle motion. Your fingers may be modern, but your brain, it remembers. 3. Saying "bless you," a war cry against death itself. Someone sneezes. You instinctively say, "Bless you." But why? This ritual dates back to ancient Rome and even earlier. People believed that sneezing could release your soul, or that evil spirits could enter you during the sneeze, when your body was vulnerable. In medieval Europe, sneezing was linked to the plague. Saying "God bless you" was like giving someone last rites, a prayer for survival in the face of death. Even Pope Gregory the Great encouraged the phrase during the Black Death. To sneeze was to flirt with your final breath. And the blessing? A shield of divine protection. Now, you say it without thinking. No one believes sneezing opens a gateway to hell anymore, hopefully. But your brain still treats it as a serious event. Why? Because sneezes interrupt rhythm. They're sudden, loud, and a little scary. Your brain, wired to detect danger, perks up. Something just happened, react. Saying "bless you" isn't just polite. It's a ritualized response that brings order back. In fact, not saying it feels awkward, socially wrong. That's the power of ritual. It shapes our expectations and behavior even when the original meaning is forgotten. So next time you bless someone for a sneeze, remember, your brain thinks you're protecting their soul, or at least keeping the ghosts out. 2. Talking to yourself, the shaman's chant evolved. Ever muttered to yourself while walking alone? Or whispered a plan out loud while working? That's not just a habit. It's a modern form of ancient magic. Ancient shamans, priests, and oracles spoke aloud to gods, spirits, and ancestors. Chanting and talking to invisible forces was a way to make sense of chaos. By giving words to problems, people felt closer to answers or control. Today, you're not calling on Zeus, but your brain still uses verbal self-talk as a tool for clarity. Why? Because speaking engages a different part of your brain than thinking. It slows thoughts down, organizes them, and makes them easier to process. In one study, athletes who used positive self-talk performed significantly better. Why? Because the brain listens to your words and acts accordingly. That inner shaman, still at work. You may not wear robes or dance around a fire, but when you say, "Okay, let's focus," or "I've got this," you're tapping into an ancient ritual of verbal intention. Even whispering "don't forget your keys" is a little spell, a command to your future self. So if you talk to yourself, good. You're doing what your ancestors did to survive, turning thought into power through voice. 1. Carrying talismans, the brain's need for sacred objects. Do you have a lucky shirt? A special pen? Maybe a charm you always carry in your bag? You're not being silly. You're practicing one of the oldest rituals in human history. From Egyptian scarabs to Viking amulets, humans have always carried objects infused with meaning. These weren't just jewelry. They were talismans, believed to protect the wearer, attract luck, or repel danger. So why do we still do this today? Because your brain craves symbolic control. When life feels unpredictable, an object you assign meaning to gives you a sense of stability. It's not about magic, it's about mindset. That lucky coin in your pocket, it gives you confidence. That wedding ring, a symbol of eternal love and protection. Even a soldier's photo in a locket becomes a spiritual anchor. Modern science supports this. When people use lucky objects, they actually perform better. Their confidence rises. Anxiety drops. That small item becomes a ritual cue, triggering calm and courage. So whether it's a rabbit's foot or a digital wallpaper, your brain still clings to symbols. You're not carrying superstition. You're carrying ritual armor just like your ancestors did. So, you knock on wood. Cross your fingers. Say, bless you. Talk to yourself. Carry lucky charms. You, my friend, are full of rituals. But here's the twist. You don't need to believe in ancient spirits for these to work. Because these rituals aren't about gods. They're about the human brain. Our minds are wired for rhythm, repetition, and meaning. In a world full of chaos, rituals give us structure. They anchor us. They help us feel safe, in control, connected. Even scrolling this far into the video, it's a ritual. Every time you watch something new, learn something weird, feel a spark of insight, that's a modern brain ritual one ancient minds couldn't have imagined. So the next time you feel silly for talking to yourself or rubbing a lucky coin, remember, you're not being irrational. You're being human. And here's your next ritual. Hit that subscribe button if your brain loved this journey. Leave a comment. What's your weirdest personal ritual? And if this made you see your habits in a new light, give it a like. Let's turn curiosity into a ritual we do together. After all, some rituals are weird, but they're also wonderful. And sometimes, they're exactly what your brain needs.